fact, you'll see him in the comics very often wearing red sunglasses, almost like Cyclops, just because he doesn't really like dealing with sunlight, really lending credence to all those rumors about him being a vampire. Something that's really going to prevent Miguel from beating the vampire allegations are his fangs. Across the Spider-Verse featured them for a little bit, but we really didn't get a good insight into how they're going to handle them. In the comics, Miguel has those fangs as a way of injecting toxin into his enemies. This Spider-Man may not be a vampire, and he may not be a killer, but he's definitely a much more aggressive take on the character. He does pretty much whatever he needs to do to get the job done, which is definitely something we saw in his characterization in the movie. Mafex does a great job of showing off this version and his fangs. They're definitely not as pronounced as they seem to be across the Spider-Verse, but that's pretty true to this version of the character. He doesn't have extremely pronounced fangs, but they're there just enough to really show off the more aggressive version of Spider-Man. Miguel also features a web cape on his back. This is very different from the original Peter Parker, as we know of the web wings under his arms, but this is very unique to Miguel. It's mostly just for show. He doesn't really use it for flying or anything of the like, although sometimes using it to maybe glide or slow his fall. It's definitely used very dynamically in the comic books, and it's difficult to show one version of the web cape. It's constantly shifting and changing. Mafex opted to go for some interchangeable back plates as well as some attachable bicep pieces to allow you to choose what kind of size you're going for with this cape. It could be argued that a cloth goods cape would have been the way to go on this figure, but this also does the job very well, allows you to get some dynamic poses out of it. Miguel has a rich history in the comics, and while his costume design has certainly had some changes, along with a very stark white costume change, this is definitely a classic look for the character. However, Mafex does include another head sculpt that's even more classic. We have the angular, angry eyes of the more modern day look, along with this more rounded effect. It's nice to have the option in case you wanted more of the 1992 design or a more modern take. All in all, this is a very solid release from Mafex. They do a great job of harkening back to his comic book roots and showing off the things that really differentiate him from the regular Peter Parker Spider-Man. I would say it's absolutely worth the money if you're a fan of the character.